Hey everybody, John Pluskina here, and I've come out here into nature where I feel most at home to work out my election salt. But I did want to take a few minutes to share with you this article that I found in CNBC about Joe Biden's upcoming task force on online harassment. So on the Biden-Harris website, the campaign said it would convene a task force to recommend how governments, social media companies, schools, and other public and private organizations should address online harassment. In recent months, social media companies like Facebook, Twitter, and Google's YouTube have faced increased pressure to contain viral misinformation, violence, harassment, and extremist content. While platforms have cleaned up more in the last year, the same problems persist across the internet and came to the forefront during the 2020 election, experts told CNBC. Experts. It's something that, without specific effort, won't be alleviated, said Kathleen Carley, professor of computer science, engineering, and public policy at Carnegie Mellon University. I think the task force could be very important because it's clear there's a lot of online disinformation and hate speech, and we've seen how that's been a significant way to harm women and vulnerable groups such as children and minorities. Carley said she'd imagine a task force thinking of long-term proposals for things like auditing companies. I imagine there could be proposals for something like the IRS, but instead of encouraging auditing finances, it would audit algorithms and policy enforcement. So there's a couple of things about this article that are pretty creepy. The first is that it doesn't present an alternative point of view that would have discussed the danger to free speech that this committee would represent. The questions that are asked of the experts that are interviewed in the article and the questions that are asked of the reader are just, are the big tech companies doing enough to prevent all of this online hate speech and misinformation and harassment that's going on? And is the Biden administration going to put together the right team and do enough to make sure that the tech companies do even more? The unspoken premise here is that the government and the big corporations that own the media decide what the narrative is and decide what misinformation is. They decide what is allowable speech and what is hate speech. So the second creepy thing, notice how the article focuses on hate speech and online harassment and bullying. And that's because these are emotionally weighted terms that are basically ad hominem attacks in disguise. Nobody supports harassment. Nobody supports hate speech, whatever that actually is. Nobody wants to see anybody get cyberbullied on the internet. But these terms are going to be used to label anything that the powers that shouldn't be just don't want to be discussed in the public square. And I have some very real personal experience with this. A while ago, I made a video about how I got a content guideline warning about some old videos that I'd made about a certain type of Foodgate, a scandal that cannot be named or discussed on YouTube. Now, after that happened, I took all of my videos about that particular topic down, and I'd hoped that that would be the end of it. But YouTube came back, and even though the videos were private and essentially taken off of YouTube, they issued me an actual content guideline strike, and I got a 1-week-long ban. And the policy that they used as an excuse to do this was the online hate speech and anti-cyberbullying and harassment policy. In case you're interested, my old videos on that particular topic are still up on BitChute and Odyssey. So make sure to take a few minutes out of your day to go follow me and your other favorite content creators on alt tech, because channels like this one are probably not going to last too much longer on YouTube. But of course, I never cyberbullied or harassed anyone in those videos or any of my videos on YouTube. The content guideline was just an excuse. So watch how fast anything that disagrees with the Biden administration and anything that doesn't fall within a center-left view of the world becomes hate speech and harassment and misinformation. Now, where are the Republicans on this? Twitter is openly censoring and labeling pretty much anything the president posts about the election. Why isn't the Republican Party trying to rally its base around free speech and the First Amendment? Why is Trump still only posting on Twitter? Why didn't he move to, or at least start cross-posting to websites like Gab and Minds and Parler a long time ago? We're in the digital dark ages. Social media represents an opportunity to wrest control of the narrative away from the government and big corporations and make the discussion of current events something that's truly democratic. But that's a battle that we're not going to win without a fight, because really, if you look at history, nothing good happens without a struggle. It's a harsh world out there, my friends, and that's why we need to keep thinking. So I hope that you find your own ways to deal with your election salt. I'm going to continue hiking with my dog here. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate it when you spend some time with me. Please take a few minutes to follow me on BitChute and Odyssey and Parler and Gab and Minds and any other alt tech websites. I try to be present on all of them, and I always use my own name, John Pluskina. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.